So continuing with our series here, we're going to next create the base. And if you want to take a look at the video that I did on doing the bracket, I'll make sure I link a card up here in the top right corner. Alright, so in this video we're going to be looking at the base. Once again, make sure that we're going to set up Inventor to do it in millimeters. And let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, so whether your screen look exactly like mine or not, or you may have some other stuff going on here, the most simplest thing I'm going to do is go ahead and click on the new icon here. So click on the actual piece of paper, and mine should jump automatically to the metric one because that's the one that we used last. So remember that if yours is sitting up and it's looking like the EL or English US, you just hit the drop down and then click on metric, and then here are your options. So I'll choose the standard millimeter and then hit create. Alright, so looking at this, and I always try to visualize and see which would be the quickest way possible. And you can see that if I go ahead and I create this shape here along the bottom and I extrude it, most of the work will be done for me. So the only things I'll have left to do, you can see I'll have holes and fillets to do. But from that point, I think I'll be done. So I'm just going to create this bottom shape that looks like this. Okay, so you can remember that you can hit the S button on your keyboard or select this icon. And then I have to tell it where I want to start this at. So I'm just going to start it again on the XY plane. And what I like to do is just kind of freehand and draw that shape a little bit. So I'm going to go starting from here. I'll click here. And I can already type in a certain number since I know that that first length going this way is 54. I can go ahead and take care of that dimension here. And that's going to actually save me some work. And we can continue to do this around here if you like. So I can go up this direction, 3. Make sure that you're getting those little icons to appear. I don't quite know how far this is, so I'm just going to click at a certain distance, come down, and now I'll get the tracking off of that point, and in this case, that's what we want. Do a left click, go this direction, 54 again. I'll zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to go upward. And then I do have the height of this, and it's sitting at 12. And all of these numbers I will show you on the PDF. So I'll go 12 this way. This is at 46. Go up a number. Don't matter. I'll go this direction. And I'm just going to kind of freehand the rest of this in. Try not to lock in on any of these other points here at the bottom. So I'll just come here. Go down to where it meets here. Come over to here, and then close it at this endpoint. Alright, so the reason I didn't put the other dimensions in is because I don't know the distance of this yet, so I'm just going to let Inventor solve that for me. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put the overall dimension on here, so I'll select this line, and then this line, come up, click, and that number is going to be 158. So a lot of those numbers that you see me create was both of the 54s. I created the 46. I also created the 3 here. And then I did a 12 on one side. Alright. So next. Oh, I also did the 158 as well. Alright. So the next thing you're going to see me do is go ahead and lock in this number here. And if I do that correctly, it should lock in these two numbers. Alright. So I have to put in one more 46, and then I can choose whether to put the fillet on this view or on the one that extrudes through. My advice to you is that most of the fillets I try to keep in one command, so therefore I will omit putting the fillet on my sketch. And I'm doing that here in Inventor. If you want to see me do this one in AutoCAD, I will link that card up here next as well, so you can see there's kind of a difference. In AutoCAD, I will put all of these in, just to be on the safe side. Alright, so looking back at this, I'll go ahead and put my dimension of 46. Now there's another option here. If I don't want to actually physically put this dimension here, and I know it's going to be exactly the same as this, and keep in mind that I'll only do this if I know that something is going to exactly and always be the exact same thing, and in this case, yeah, we're not going to edit this. I can use the equal constraint, which is here, and then I can just select this line and this line. So that's going to go ahead and create that at that 46 for me without physically putting a dimension there. Then I'll go back to the dimension. I'll go from here to there, and then I'll go ahead and place that at 14. And now we're at that point to where I need 2 dimensions, right? One thing I like to do is always center my part on this dot. So I'm going to go to dimension, select my dimension, then select the yellow dot. So I selected that line, and then that yellow dot or the center point, click here, and then I'm going to type in a number. In this case, I want it to change as a function, so every time the length of this thing changes, I want it to always be in the center. So while this is highlighted blue, I'm going to select my 158 dimension and divide it by 2. And you're going to see that your whole entire part moves over. I can do the exact same thing. So if I want to center this thing, the overall shape on this dot, I can select the dimension from this bottom line to the yellow dot. I'm going to drag to the left, and then I'm going to left click. So once I left click and place my dimension, I'll select the 14, and then I'll divide it by 2. Now you can look down at the bottom right here, and you can see that it is fully constrained. Everything, all my colors are the same. I'll go ahead and go to Finish Sketch. Just going to zoom out a little bit. Choose Extrude. And then I have to figure out what that overall length of it is. Alright, so back in here again, that overall length should be the 74. And I already took care of the 14 and the 56. You've seen on the other video when I created the bracket for this, that this 34 I actually didn't use. Really, it's because if you do the math on that, you will see that the center of your circle is always at 30, or as at 34 from this one, just based off of the arc. So if you want to do the simple math of that, you can. Alright, so that length that I need here is going to be 74. I do tend to keep everything symmetric, and that way I can keep all of my planes in one location. Go ahead and hit OK. Next, I'll go ahead and take care of all of my fillets. So remember that we have a fillet going here and all around these corners at a radius of 12. And we also have underneath here, we have 2 fillets that are sitting at 3. So let's go to Fillet. I'm going to start off with my big ones first. I'm going to tell it 12. Then I'm going to select these corners. Just going to spin it around to the other side here. And next, I'm going to put in my 3 ones. So I'm going to hit the plus sign that is located here. I'm going to change that number to 3. And then I need to kind of look underneath here. So I'm going to select this bottom cube here. You're going to see it rotate up. I'm going to select this line here. Then I'm going to rotate it one more time here. So I clicked on that twice. And then I'll do that one. Go ahead and hit OK. And all of my fillets are done now. Alright. Lastly, the thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and tap these holes, right? So I need to put holes in here that have a thread profile. Alright, so all of these holes are going to be the exact same size, so therefore I'm just going to create a sketch so I can capture them all at once. So I'm selecting this face. I'll select this icon. I'll choose Project Geometry, and I'm going to select these 4 arcs on the outside. Then I'll go to the Point command, and I'll click at each of the centers of my arcs. Once you're done with that, go ahead and finish sketch. Go to the Hole command. And you're going to see that it automatically does those holes and it has them at a size of 12. Well, that'll be okay, but in this case, we do have threads in these holes, so I'm going to choose the tapped option, which is here. And next, it's going to ask me to give it a type of tapped hole. In this case, it's going to be a metric profile, so I'm going to choose an ANSI metric M profile. Next thing I need to do is select the size of it. In this case, it's going to be a 10. And now I think that should be everything that I need. So it's a M10 and it's a 1.5, and you can see that it has the class of it in the left hand and things of that nature. Now you need to tell it how or what to do or how far you want these threads to go. And I'm just telling it right here to go through all. Go ahead and hit OK. And let's go ahead and check the PDF and make sure that there's nothing that we forgot. Alright, so I did make sure that I used these 4 M10 holes. I took care of my radius here, and I also took care of my radius here. If I want to, just to verify, I'll show you how to go and measure both of these, just so you can be on the safe side. Okay, so one of the things I need to do if I want to inspect the distance between each of these holes is that I'm going to go to the Inspect tab, and then I'm going to choose Measure. And keep in mind that if you don't want to go through all of these other steps, just hit M on your keyboard, and that's what the little M is for. So I'll go to Measure. I'm going to go to this hole, and then I'm going to select this hole. And it's going to tell me that it is 50 millimeters in front of it. I'm going to do a right click out here in the white area. Then I'm going to choose Restart, and I'm going to select this hole, and I'm going to select that hole. And you can see that that does tell me that it's 134 between each one. Okay, go ahead and hit done. So I verified that all of my dimensions are correct, and I think this part is totally complete. Make sure that you save this one as your base. Alright, and once you save it, I think we are totally complete with this one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.